nothing but the dog in me. Why must I chase the cat?
Good evening and welcome to Posse Presents. Ask me why we're talking about like food before I go on the air, right? So I'm stuck here for a half an hour and I can't do anything about the cravings that we're talking about. Ice cream. Yeah, we're talking about tortilla chips.
And ice cream and all that.
And more ice cream and more tortilla chips, yeah. Not a good thing because like I can't even be like, okay, let me go feed my fancy now. But whatever. It's all good. Welcome to the show. It's funny because now on the way in, it's getting darker. I don't like this weather change, this season change. I mean, I like the fall because it does cool off, and we've had some beautiful weather. But, you know, it just means that the cold weather is coming and the dark after work thing, and I don't like all that. If we could just keep the daylight the way it's been, and you know, change the weather patterns a little bit to be this nice, it'd be good, and not get any colder than it's been. I'd be perfectly okay with that. I really would be. This morning I had a really cool experience. I went out on my front porch, and clearly when I went out there I startled something. And you know, you hear this rustle, and I didn't know if it was on the porch or if it was off the porch. But I quickly realized it was like a not quite fully grown squirrel, and it was on the outside. I don't know if he was trying to crawl up my the downspout or whatever he was doing. She. But he started going back and forth on the front step. Now I have a screened-in porch. Started going back and forth on the step and looking at me and looking like he wanted to come on the porch. And I'm like, okay, really? Because he probably could have got on there. There's like places in the screens that, you know, hey, I have dogs. They're not all intact. And I was like, well, I hope that this squirrel doesn't decide to come on the porch, because now I can't even open the door to go inside. What if he like tries to get in the house? So all of a sudden he crawls up on the screen and he's talking to me. Like, seriously, this squirrel is just that I'm like, oh, are you trying to tell me? Like, I'm having this conversation. Like, what are you trying to tell me? Oh, you're talking to me. We're back and forth. Like, every time I paused, the squirrel had something to say. It was the craziest thing. And he started crawling up the screen. And I'm like, where is this going? Who's coming to visit me through this squirrel, you know? And I had half a mind to go inside and try to get my phone to see if I could like take a picture, because I didn't know where this was going. It was like he's crawling up the screen and talking to me, and all of a sudden, without warning, he turned around, jumped in the bushes, went a few yards across to the big tree, up the tree, and I think he was hanging out in the yard for like the next few hours. But it was the craziest thing. I was like, who does this happen to? I mean, usually a squirrel will either stand its ground or take off, but I scared it. It came back. It was like it was trying to get on the porch, and I was like, oof, I hope not. But seriously, crawling up and talking to me and having this little conversation, I felt like, you know, Lassie, get help. I mean, I didn't know, you know, Lassie, where's Timmy? I don't know. I had no idea where this was. It's a gift when something like that happens, you know, but it was just like weird. Weird way to start the day.
You know, Fulton Park, I leave my hand out like that, no lie.
Talk louder.
And butterflies would land on my hand. And the other kids said, come here, look at this. And they did someone take pictures of it, and the butterflies would right on my hand. I hold it out.
Yeah, Speedo's saying that he used to hold his hand out and butterflies would land. That's pretty cool. And, you know, I mean, it's a gift when something like that happens. And, you know, you just don't know. You don't know where it's coming from or what it even means. I remember years ago I was outside talking to my neighbor, and all of a sudden, out of the trees, a bird came and like tried landing in my hair. And I wasn't afraid of the bird. I knew exactly like what it was as it was happening, but all of a sudden I heard like the fluttering feathers like in my ear, the wings, and like your instinct is, you know, to swipe it away. But this thing was seriously coming in for a landing to hang out in my hair. And I forget if it was, we had like I don't know if it was before like a hurricane we had, or we had like some weird earthquake that same day or something. But I was like, you know, the animals know when they do crazy things sometimes, but that was just really wild. I was like, wow, what is this, like, bird, like, going for the Raggedy Ann here in the sunlight, or, you know, what's the deal? But it's cool. It makes you worry about them, though, because, you know, you wonder if they're, like, okay. But I felt bad because I swiped at it, and I wasn't trying to hurt it. And like I said, I knew exactly. I have birds, so I knew the sound, and I knew it was a bird. But, you know, your instinct is always, you don't know what it's trying to do until it's too late. And, you know, that thing could have got tangled up in this mess, and it would have been ugly. Anyway, moving on. A couple of weekends ago, I made it to the Pet Rock Festival. You know, it's nice to have guests, but then it's also nice to have a show where I can catch up and, you know, do my own thing. So this week we're talking about what happened a couple of weekends ago. Zach and I made it to the Pet Rock Festival up in Massachusetts, and I would have to say it was a really good day. How about you, Zach? Did you have a good time? He's got thumbs up, 2 thumbs up, and he's waving. So it's like 2 snaps and a twirl. Anyway, it was a really good day. There were a lot of booths, there were a lot of vendors, there was a lot of stuff going on. Got to meet a lot of really cool people. My friend Linda, who had been on the show like a week or 2 before, she was there with her husband and her little Butte, her little service dog, her little pug. He's like such a cool dog. There was some really good music there. I know Zach fell in love with the music. I lost him for a while to just like listen to the music. But I've got some pictures, and Zach, I'll call for the next ones, and we'll talk about them as we go. This is Zach and I with Juno and Nora the Explorer. Now, Nora came all the way from Florida to be at the event, which was really cool, and that's, of course, Nora with Zach and me with Juno, because you know I have my obsession, my little buddy Juno. Let's get the next one. This is a great picture. This is like seriously, talk about being in the presence of greatness here. We've got representatives from Sweet Pea Friends of Rutland Animals. We've got Hannah's Home, the story of the runaway Chihuahua and her mom. We've got Central Massachusetts Hospice, which actually has a program to place the dogs of patients who are in hospice, keep them with the patient as long as possible, and when the patient does pass away or like just really can't do it anymore, places the dogs. So that's a wonderful organization, and I look forward to doing some stuff with them. Of course, Juno is there. Bert's Brigade, you can see I've got Bert there. Hee hee. We've got Nora the Explorer, Bella Pomeranian, Jameson's Journey, and just so many cool people in that picture. And I was just like really overwhelmed to be a part of that, because really I kind of like felt like, who am I? But it was like, oh, here's Bert, I'm gonna go take a picture. I'm like, okay. I got no problem with that. I'm good with that. Next one. Did I do that? Is that the different shot? Yeah, that's the different shot. That one cracks me up because you can see the little dog butt in between us. That cracks me up really hard. Okay, so that's Juno and Nora and Zach and me. Next up, here's me in my glory. I've got Juno in my arms. We've got Bert's Brigade and Nora the Explorer in their strollers. I love Nora's plaid stroller, but that's Thomas, Wyatt, and Bert in the green stroller, and Juno in my arms and Nora in her plaid stroller. Next one. Bert's Brigade, Thomas, Wyatt, and Bert. I just love Bert. He's just so cool. And, you know, some people don't get into the whole hairless dog thing. And Nora is the same thing. They're both Chinese cresteds. So it's just, they're my dream dog. Speedo's making faces. They're my someday dog. A Chinese crested I will have someday. I have promised myself that it's my someday dog. It's got to be the right time for anything. But my someday dog, Chinese crested. Bert, you'll have company. Or maybe some competition, I don't know. Next up, once again, there's the solo picture of Bert's Brigade and Juno and me. Next up, there's me with Nora the Explorer. Like I said, I love the Chinese cresteds. She's really cool. like I said, came up from Florida to be at the event and hang out with everybody, which I thought was pretty amazing. And her mom plans on coming up again next year for the event. And so we're going to stay in touch, and I think we're going to try to have Nora on the night before next year's Pet Rock. So that'll be really cool. She'll come all the way up from Florida again, and we'll have her on the show, and then we'll hang out at Pet Rock. It'll be really cool. Next up, this was a cool moment. Again, it was here, hold Bert, while I take a picture. And, you know, I never have a problem with that. There was a donation made to the Massachusetts hospice lady. Janine is her name. And like I said, she's really awesome. And what they do is amazing to keep, you know, these pets with their owners until it's, you know, time. And then they find homes for these pets. And a lot of times these are pets that would end up in shelters because, you know, the family doesn't want to have to take care of it. You know, they help transition them into the next world, knowing that, you know, their animals are going to be taken care of. And, you know, if you're dying, it's bad enough. But if you're dying and you know that, you know, you have to give up your pet or what, it just does. I can't imagine it makes life any easier. Or end of life any easier, worrying, and to have your animal there to be with you as long as possible, that's just really something that, you know, like I said, I can't imagine, and something that you really shouldn't have to worry about. So bless Janine and the work she does, and like I said, the Juno's Place and Bert's Brigade made a donation, and I got to hold Bert for the picture. One of those again. I'll hold anybody. Here's Bert. Okay. Here's Juno. Okay. Here's Juno. I got to go take a walk. Okay. I have no problem with that. But that was a cool moment, and you know, I was just sort of in the right place at the right time. Next up, these three ladies were pretty amazing. I have to say I was very flattered. There were people there who actually knew who I was as I was walking around. And, you know, I don't think of myself as like somebody, you know, but I'm always flattered when someone says, oh, I've seen you on TV, or I watch your show, or whatever. These ladies up in Massachusetts walked up to me, knew who I was, introduced themselves, told me they watched my show. And the most amazing thing is, first of all, I'm in Massachusetts. I'm not even, like, you know, close by. But obviously they had to be Juno fans, and they were. But even more amazing, they were not even from around here. We've got Karen Mays, who is from Ohio, Betty Pausiello, who is from Pennsylvania, and Kathy Tinder, who is from Florida, walking around at an event in Massachusetts, and no little old me, yours truly. So I was very flattered, and thought it was amazing that they, you know, they introduced themselves, and there they are with our favorite hooligans, Juno and Bert and Thomas and Wyatt. And if you're watching this show, ladies, thank you very much for watching, and I appreciate it, and it was wonderful to meet you. Also got to meet Cane's Crusade, which was very cool. That's a cause that Juno and Bert support, and we have already been in touch, and looks like I may be able to have them come down, which will be really neat. There were some really good contacts I made. Jameson from Jameson's Journey, and, you know, a few others. You know, it's always good networking. It really is. We have any more pictures, or is this the last one, Zach? Hey? That's done. We're done with Pet Rock. Is that what you're saying? Yeah. Okay, so I'll take the camera back. So yeah, so it's really nice to get out to these events and network. You know, it's two levels for me. It's getting to see all these people that I admire and I like to meet, and then it's, you know, it's about the networking and you know, offering my services for, you know, coming on the show, or, you know, if I could write up stuff in the column, and, you know, it's a nice road. It's a nice path that it can take. You know, look at Sue Torres was here last week, and it was just like a chance kind of thing once upon a time, and you know, now I support her fully, and have been like sort of a part of her books, and it's been really cool. So it's nice to network, and it's nice to meet people. Anyway, one of the things that I wanted to mention tonight is that there are small dog fosters needed. You can put that little sign up there, Zach. Small dog fosters are needed for furry friends foster and rescue. A number of dogs under 20 pounds are coming in, and they need to have commitment, and I stress the word commitment, as soon as possible. The vet costs are paid for. You get help with food and supplies, so it's really it's like just add water, just add love. Just open your home and add the love. And I always say how foster homes are the bridge to forever. You may not like the fact that it's only going to be for a little while, and it's going to hurt your heart when the animal goes, but you're such a part of that animal forever, because you were the way that it got its forever home. No, it's not easy to let them go, but you can't keep everyone. And there are people who foster pet after pet, and they cry their tears, and I've cried mine when I've let fosters go to their homes, but you know what, it opens you back up for the next one. And some are more favorite than others, and in the end, that because you spent your time and you put in your heart and your love, these dogs had that chance to find their forever home. So consider it. It costs you nothing but some time and some effort, and that dog will always be yours in a way that it won't be anybody else's, and you have to remember that. So if you're interested in fostering, you must be in Connecticut. That's a requirement, and you do have to fill out an application, and you can email furryfriendsct@yahoo.com, furryfriendsct@yahoo.com. And if you can do it, they do need people right away. And fostering is it's a commitment until the dog finds a home. It's not a commitment until you don't feel like it anymore. So do it wisely if you're going to do it. Sometimes things do happen. Sometimes they can find another foster for the dog, but it's not fair to have the dog jump around from home to home. It's much better for a dog to be settled in. And it's if you can do it, by all means do it, because these guys under 20 pounds, that's a pretty easy dog. It's not going to take up much room, and it's not going to be that big a deal. You just have to love it like it were your own for a little while. Alrighty, I'll take the camera back. And next up, I troll through the internet and Facebook and try to find some stuff to talk about sometimes, some dogs to put up or cats for adoption. And now and then I come across a particular one that may really tear me up, and others are urgent, etc. I run the gamut. I found this post this afternoon, and it would appear that there's the original story maybe wasn't as it was posted, and the person who put it out there realizes that, and she was going to take the post down because of some potential misinformation. However, the fact remains that the dog still needs a home because he's in a pound. Zach, let's get Champ's picture up. It seems to be that the truth remains that Champ's owner died, and Champ ended up in a shelter. So that's never a good thing. You don't know. Again, there's the person who posted is trying to find out the real story now, and because there may be some misinformation, I'm not going to feed into it because that wouldn't be fair. But Champ is very depressed. He's not doing poorly, but he's not doing great in the shelter. Some dogs are less geared to it. Supposedly, Champ had been with his owner since he was 8 weeks old, and he's like 2 years old now. So he's lost the only person that was really ever stable in his life. He lost, his person, and that's never good. Dogs know, I think they really know. Champ is 2 years old. He's up to date with his vaccinations. He's neutered. Right now, he doesn't appear to be good with other animals, but that could also be circumstantial. Sometimes life changes make everybody's outlook a little different. So there may be some potential down the road for Champ to be able to be with other animals. But look at that face. I mean, he just looks so sad, and it's heartbreaking. So Champ desperately needs out, and he needs love, and he needs nurturing, and he needs to know that, he's not going to get bailed out on again. And if anybody's interested in finding out more, or by the same token, if anybody's got the real story on Champ, you can email Lori at booch0517@aol.com. That's BOOCH0517@aol.com. And that's going to be all we'll tell of Champ's story for now. And I will take the camera back for a moment and going to talk for a second about something that's not even animal related, but it was posted on Juno's Facebook page. So out of respect for Juno, and since it's a friend of hers, any friend of Juno's is a friend of mine sort of thing, there are thieves in this world, and that's unfortunately something that there have been thieves since time out of mind. But sometimes, the things they steal just go beyond any kind of getting over losing. Now, a gentleman had his motorcycle stolen off his property, and it wasn't just the motorcycle, which you get attached to your vehicles, and there's a certain bond people have with their motorcycles. Well, I know. But it wasn't just the motorcycle that was stolen. The gentleman had his vest. And Zach, let's put that picture up. This vest had his patches on it. Now, there's, the American Legion patch, and that's probably replaceable because that's an organization that, that's who you get them from. But some of the patches on this vest date back to this man's military service, and they are irreplaceable. You can't go back and get your patches again, and you can't, they've been with, sometimes things have been with you through all kinds of things in your life. So even if you got a new one, it wouldn't be the same. The vest is, a vest, but the patches are something that this guy just can't replace. And I can certainly relate to that. Now, again, this is Massachusetts, but you never know where something like this could end up, The motorcycle, there were pieces of it found already up in Massachusetts, and the vest rather, still hasn't been found. Whatever happened to it, it would be nice to know that it could be returned to the gentleman. The areas of Massachusetts that are are asked to be most on alert are Spencer, Charlton, Worcester, Sturbridge, and Southbridge. But, again, this could travel anywhere. This could be on eBay. This could be on Craigslist. Anybody, anywhere could really end up with it. So if you're in the kind of circles where you see stuff like this posted, keep an eye peeled for it. And unfortunately, there was no contact information that was put out there with the post. But I would definitely say, if you see it, if you think you see it, message Juno's Place on Facebook, because she knows the gentleman. Deb can get in touch with him, advise you what steps to take. And unfortunately, it's not direct contact, but it's the next best thing when you know you're someone's friend. So keep an eye out. It can't hurt here in Connecticut, and whoever may be watching the show on YouTube. This vest, the patches mean the world to this gentleman, and if we could get it back to him, wouldn't that be wonderful? I will take the camera back, and I'm just going to remind you all, tomorrow is the Wallingford Lions Club Bark in the Park. It's from 9 to 2 at Community Lake in Wallingford. It's a dog walk. You can walk with or without a dog. It's for diabetes. There will be raffles, vendors, a DJ, a scavenger hunt, rescue groups. It will be rain or shine. You can register for the walk, and registration includes breakfast and lunch. This is one of the Lions' biggest events, and if you want more information, you can still call. It's not too late. 860-426-9640, 860-949-1586, or 203-265-2160. And this should be a fun event. Zach and I will be there, and I can hear him starting to laugh now. Yeah, my buddy Zach. We will be up bright and early. Yeah, he's laughing. See, I knew he'd laugh. This is where Zach says to me, and this is why I love Zach, oh, you're going to come pick me up at 7:30? Should I get up around 9? All right, listen, we're going to be there. We're going to be there on time. It's going to be a great event. We're going to be helping out because Debbie is awesome. She does so many cool events, and she's got her hands in so many things. You know, this is not to benefit animals, but it's an animal-related day, so it should be a really good day. She's had great success in the past. Unfortunately, I've not been able to make them, so this will be the first one that I get to go to. And like I said, Zach and I will be helping out, and it'll be a really good day. So if you can stop by tomorrow, Wallingford Community Lake from 9 to 2, we'll be there. Be sure to come over and say hi. It'll be nice to meet some more friends and network with more people, and it'll be interesting to see who's there. And about how much time we have left, Zach? Hey? 20 seconds? Okay. You know, if you have an event that you would like me to talk about, let me know. Pawprint713 at AOL.com. I'll be happy to put it up on the show. I'm going to say peace, love, and dogs. Until next week, good night, everybody. Thank you for watching.